Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the anti-HIV in the medicinal chemistry paper. Here, the HIV remains a major global public health issue, having claimed 40.4 million lives so far with ongoing transmission in all countries globally, with some countries reporting increasing trends in new infections when previously on the decline. There were an estimated 39.0 million people living with HIV at the end of 2022, two-thirds of whom are in the World Health Organization of African region. In 2022, 630,000 people died from HIV-related causes, and 1.3 million people acquired HIV. Generally, the global situations of HIV AIDS is prevalence. By 2013, about 35 million people were living with HIV with a global prevalence of 0.8% in adults. Sub-Saharan African remains most severely affected with nearly 1 in every 20 adults living with HIV and accounting for nearly 71% of the people living with HIV worldwide. The HIV AIDS situation in India. By the end of 2015, the adult HIV prevalence in India was reported as 0.26%. The number of people living with HIV or AIDS was over 21.1 lakh. And in the Andhra Pradesh, undivided was the worst affected state, followed by Maharashtra and Karnataka in terms of people living with HIV or AIDS. However, as far as prevalence, number of cases per 100 population is concerned, northeast states such as Nagaland, Mizoram, and Manipur are worst affected. This was the timeline which have been created from 1981 to till now for the development of HIV or AIDS. The introduction of the HIV. AIDS is an acronym for acquired immune deficiency syndrome. It is a disease caused by a virus called HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. There are two related kinds of viruses called HIV-1 and HIV-2. Virtually, all AIDS cases in the United States are caused by HIV-1. In West Africa, HIV-2 predominates, whereas in Central Africa, HIV-1 predominates. These are the some of the images which was shown by the people who are affected with HIV and AIDS. Generally, the HIV is transmitted by during unprotected sex by sharing needles and syringes used for injecting drugs from a mother to a baby in the womb, by the transfer of blood, blood products or organs during ear piercing, acupuncture or tattooing, from a mother to a baby through breast milk. There is no evidence for the transmission through kissing, tears, saliva. HIV is generally not transmitted by insect bites, dogs, cats, mice, or any other pets, shaking hands, hugging, toilet seats, coughs and sneezes, sharing food, sharing cutlery and crockery, sharing towels, massaging, swimming pools, donating blood, and so on. The mode of transmission of the HIV disease is in a world sexually 75% and vaginal greater than 60% anal and 15%, parent to a child by 10%, insect drug abuse by 10%, blood transmission 5%, needle stick exposure 0.1%. Most common mode of transmission in India is heterosexual 87.4% and parent to child by 5.4%, and injection drug abuse 1.6%, homosexual 1.5%, blood transfusion and needle stick exposure together 1%. Risk of transmission. The blood transfusion can be done around 90 to 95%, and parent to child will be 20 to 40%, and injection drug abuse will be 0.5 to 1.0%, needle stick exposure 0.3%, sexual intercourse 0.065 to 0.5%, and vaginal 0.05 to 0.1%, and oral 0.005 to 0.1%. This is a general diagram of the HIV virus. This image will clearly denotes how the host cell and the related with mRNA and RNA and DNA, how the HIV disease will be transmitted. Generally, the pathogenicity of a HIV, individuals who are infected with the AIDS virus usually do not develop AIDS related symptoms immediately. Therefore, they may not be diagnosed as having AIDS until long after they become infected. This is because after the virus initially multiplies in the body, the person's immune system produces antibodies against the virus. These antibodies can control further viral multiplication for some period of time, often several years. However, they do not completely eliminate the virus because much of it exists as a part of genetic material of the host's T4 lymphocytes. When T4 cell carrying HIV becomes stimulated during an immune response, the HIV becomes activated, replicated, and kills the host T4 cells. Thus, the activation of the body immune system contributes to the destruction of an essential component of the immune system, the helper T4 cells. In this manner, virus gradually gains ground and eventually damages the immune system to the point that the body can no longer hold the virus in check. This is followed by the development of clinical illness indicative of AIDS. The two established targets for anti-HIV attack are HIV reverse transcriptase, which transcribes HIV RNA into proviral DNA, HIV protease, which cleaves the large virus-directed polyprotein into functional viral proteins. There are some of the inhibitors. The inhibitors are classified under the six categories: the nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, retroviral protease inhibitors, entry fusion inhibitor, CCR5 receptor inhibitor, integral inhibitor, raltegravir. Nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors (NRTI) will be classified as six medicines, that will be zidovudine, didenosine, stavudine, lamivudine, abacavir, tenofovir. Generally, the zidovudine, the first antiretrovirus drug zidovudine was made available for use in 1987. It is a thymidine analog, azithromycin, AZT, the prototype NRTI. Dose for adults 300 mg, but for children 180 milligrams, maximum 200 milligrams, 6 to 8 hours. The retrovir and zidovir 100 milligram cap and 300 milligram tablet and 50 milligram or 5 ml Sirviros, Zidomax, Zidovin, 100 milligram cap, 300 mg cap, milligram tab to be taken with plenty of water. Generally, there are some of the adverse effects such as toxicity is mainly due to the partial inhibition of cellular mitochondrial DNA polymerase, which has higher affinity for the zidovudine triphosphate than chromosomal DNA polymerase. These are some of the diseases which was caused by the usage of zidovudine drugs, and here it represents the general molecular structure of the zidovudine complex. Next, for the didenosine, it is a purely nucleoside analog which after intracellular conversion to didenosine triphosphate compares with ATP for incorporation into viral DNA, inhibits HIV reverse transcriptase and terminates proviral DNA. Antiretroviral activity of didenosine is equivalent to AZT. Mutational resistance developments, but only a few AZT resistance mutants are non-responsive to didenosine also. Its use has declined due to higher toxicity than NRTIs. The dose have been pointed here, and the medicine image will be looks like this. And for the adverse effects, it happens due to the oral absorption of didenosine is somewhat erratic due to acid liability. In contrast, AZT does not cause myelosuppression, loss in bone marrow activity resulting in RBC, WBC, and platelets. And the main advantages and disadvantages have been shown here, and for the effects caused by using of this medicine will be shown here, and it is a general molecular complex. The stavudine, it is also a thymidine analog which acts in the same way as AZT by utilizing the same thymidine kinase for activation. AZT antagonists the effect of stavudine, and the two should not be used together. It should also not be combined with digoxin because both cause peripheral neuropathy. Resistance to the stavudine complex as for other NRTIs. The consumption method will be shown here, and the medicine will be looks like this, and the dose should be taken this much amount, and these are the adverse effects and the general molecular formula. Lamivudine, this is deoxycytidine analog, is phosphorylated intracellularly and inhibits HIV reverse transcriptase as well as HBV DNA polymerase. Its incorporation into DNA results in chain termination. Point mutation in HIV reverse transcriptase and HBV DNA polymerase gives rise to rapid lamivudine resistance. However, certain lamivudine resistance mutants become slow growing and have lower virulence. Some cross resistance with adenosine has been noted among HIV. This is the general molecular formula of lamivudine, and the consumption have been shown here, and adverse effects will be shown here, and the dose will be given here. This is a formula of general looks of the medicine. And for the abacavir, rapid reduction in the plasma HIV RNA count and rapid rise in CD4 cell count has been noted when abacavir was given to AIDS patients. The consumption method and image had been given here, and the adverse effects, dose and molecular formula of the abacavir has been shown here. And for the tenofovir, it is a monophosphate nucleotide related to AMP adenosine monophosphate, which is active against HBV as well as HIV. Consumption, adverse effects and dose have been given. Non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, nevirapine and efavirenz. And in the case of nevirapine, it is used mostly in the case of nucleoside unrelated compounds that directly inhibit HIV reverse transcriptase without the need for the intracellular phosphorylation. And the efavirenz, these are nucleoside unrelated compounds that directly inhibit HIV reverse transcriptase without the need for intracellular phosphorylation. And for the retroviral protease inhibitors, atazanavir, indinavir, nelfinavir, ritonavir, saganavir and lopinavir have been discussed here. And for the atazanavir, the consumption, adverse effects, those have been given. And for the this is for the indinavir, and this is for the nelfinavir, this is for the ritonavir. And this slide clearly explains about the saconavir, and this clearly explains for the lopinavir. Some of the antiretroviral combinations will be taken in the form of lamivudine 150 mg plus zidovudine 300 mg tablet, and lamivudine 150 mg plus stavudine 30 mg have been taken the case of one tablet. Lamivudine 150 mg and zidovudine 300 mg plus nevirapine 200 mg had been taken, and the red color indicates about the companies and the medicines names which have been discussed. And lamivudine 150 mg plus stavudine 30 mg or 40 mg plus nevirapine 200 mg tablet. And for the lamivudine 150 mg plus zidovudine 300 mg 2 tablets and efavirenz 60 mg 1 tablet will be taken as a e-kit. Thank you.